Hi everybody, this is Noelle from Petitti Garden Centers and we're here at Oakwood Village and it's what's in store for August. How did that already happen? It's crazy that the summer has flown by, but there's still so much to do in the garden and August is really a great time to keep planting. We've had a mild season and add some color to your garden. And of course, when we talk about color, look at all of these beautiful panicle hydrangeas behind me. There are a lot of varieties, so I do want to tell you, please, get on our website, look at all the hydrangea information that we have, but the panicles are in full swing. They look absolutely gorgeous. So we have everything from vanilla strawberry, which is just starting to pink up, get that nice light pink blush strawberry color. This nice little compact one right here is called Little Hottie. It is new, gorgeous, really, really beautiful, nice and tight, big conical blooms. We have Zinfandel. This is kind of an oldie but goodie from PW. It's really not that old, but very nice. A little bit larger habit. You can tell as you walk through and you can kind of see how the habits are getting a little bit bigger as we go here. And Zinfandel's here. This one is actually the improved vanilla strawberry. This is Strawberry Sundae, right, Taylor? I think so. Strawberry Sundae, a little bit thicker on the stems. The habit's a little bit more dense, but still you're starting to see that blush run right through the flowers. And then back here we've got some Pinky Winky. It's just starting to bud up and look gorgeous, but look at how solid and tight the foliage is. And again, we've probably been cutting this crop of Pinky Winky back through the season so it stays nice and tight. And then when it does bloom out, it's going to be a lot of flowers over a nice tight shrub. So that's always really great. And then this one here is Limelight Prime. So it really is coming out again, kind of an improved variety of Limelight, a little bit more compact, still around that 6 foot tall height, but really, really nice and obviously floriferous. Lots and lots of buds and blooms here. At this time of year, you're always kind of looking for a little bit more color. And as you go through and just kind of drive through the neighborhoods or on your bike or taking a walk, you're going to see those panicle hydrangeas. I mean, they really do produce a lot of color at this time of year, along with Rose of Sharon and the Hibiscus family. So you'll see that color, that flower out and about as well. But I wanted to show you a couple other colorful things here. For a little bit more color out in the landscape, consider Ninebark. Now, I know I've mentioned Ninebark before. It's a pretty easy plant to grow. It is a cultivated variety of a native plant of Ohio. There have been a lot of improvements on foliage color habit with this plant. This is Little Devil. This is kind of a newer variety here that you see. But again, you have that dark green to kind of burgundy tone in the foliage, and it's got a little bit of a finer foliage to it. So nice, tight texture, really, really pretty. And as you move into more of the varieties, you have things like Tiny Wine from PW, nice dark foliage plant. Again, a little bit tighter, more compact as far as the habit is concerned. And then you move into Summer Wine and Ginger Wine, which are bigger shrubs, and they can get, 5-6 foot tall and wide, but really beautiful. And what I always appreciate about this plant is you get spring flowering, but you will get, as the flowers fade, you get these bracts that will stay colorful. So it has that illusion of still being in bloom in the landscape. So it really is a neat plant where you're getting color and texture, 3 seasons of the year, that spring, summer, and fall. So no problem with the Ninebark. Very easy to grow. Do protect it. I have seen some nibbles on it from deer, so just be aware that if you do have a high deer traffic area, I have seen them go through and browse the Ninebark. So be aware of that. But you've got the burgundy colors and you've also have the yellow color. So it's really a fun family to kind of get, again, that colorful foliage texture, a little bit of spring blooming, really, really nice. And then right over here, I wanted to show you, same thing, you can get some color with the smoke bush. So there are smaller smoke bush available, smaller varieties, some bronze foliage types, some purple foliage types, but then you can go into the bigger varieties as well. Now, your smoke bush can get very large. They can get tree-like at times. So do be aware, you know, if you want to keep them more compact, start with the more compact varieties. If you want them to get a little bit larger, go ahead and do that. But again, you can control that with pruning as well. So just be aware. And they're really good growers for us. You know, some of them are producing some smoke right now, or those blooms for them. But really a great plant and really nice to grow along with the panicle hydrangeas. Again, you're getting great flowering late season with the panicle hydrangeas, but beautiful texture and color with the Ninebark or the smoke bush. So keep that in mind. Another plant that I was looking at yesterday is this beautiful willow. And this yellow-leafed willow is called Golden Sunshine. And obviously this is a tree form. You can tell it has been trained up into that tree-like canopy. These willows can grow usually around anywhere from, let's say, 8 to 18 feet tall. So they are a large willow, but my initial thought was, oh my gosh, they look a lot like bamboo. And so it would be an alternative for folks that are looking for that bamboo type foliage to try. Obviously willows, again, great growers for us. They can tolerate our heavy clay soils, no problem. They obviously like moisture. They're in the willow family. So again, no problem with moist soils and heavy clay soils, but they will grow and they can put on some size. So you can start with something like a tree form if you want something more upright and golden color, or you can also use the shrub form. And it's hiding right behind this purple smoke bush here, but look at that foliage. And again, it just gives you that beautiful kind of bamboo effect that bamboo foliage does and that texture does. So, and look at the contrast between that golden sunshine willow and the purple smoke bush. So really, really beautiful contrast. And again, would be lovely just to add some more color, foliage color in the garden. We are actually by the butterfly bush. Whoop. And I wanted to tell you, well, you can see for yourself, there is just a ton of color and fragrance over here. And you just walk into this section and you can just smell that sweet scent from the butterfly bush. Most of these are pugster varieties. There's pinker pugster back here. This is periwinkle pugster. And when I was walking through yesterday evening, the periwinkle pugster, for whatever reason, had like 3 different butterflies on it, but it also had like a half dozen sphinx moths or hummingbird moths going through these flowers, just combing through the flowers and going one by one and just getting a lot of nectar. So the butterfly bushes are in full bloom. Pugster's known for being very compact, very sturdy, one of the most cold tolerant of the butterfly bushes. And obviously the panicles are very, very large if that's what you're looking for. If you're not, if you want to try something that's a little bit smaller, the Lo and Behold series are going to have smaller panicles for you and a much more compact habit on them. So look for Lo and Behold, look for pugster. They're both really great in this area. We do have to always tell you though, with butterfly bush, if we have that freeze and cold cycle that happens during our winters sometimes, you can lose butterfly bush. They really don't like to have that freezing and cooling. And so just be careful. Really try to protect them over the winter if you can. do that late fall mulching, late in November, early December. If you can throw a few more inches of mulch around the plant, that's going to help protect that root system, protect the crown of the plant, and don't cut them back until next year in the spring, because you want them to just die back naturally and sit there all winter. And then hopefully next spring they've kind of protected themselves, and next spring they'll start to flush back out from the bottom and grow again. But next to them, look at these smaller panicle hydrangeas. And there's Tiny Quickfire. She's in the distance, and that is the most compact panicle hydrangea that is on the market right now. Beautiful, petite. She's under a foot right now, tall, which is amazing, but loaded with flowers and really starting to blush up. This is Tiny Lime Punch. No, Little Lime Punch. Sorry, guys. Lots of varieties here, but Little Lime Punch, look at these flowers. This is one plant, beautiful, covered in not only early buds, but later stage flowering panicles. These panicles are probably 6 inches long, 8 inches long, really, really large, and they're starting to blush really nicely. So you're getting early stage blooming, you know, middle stage blooming where they haven't even opened up yet and they have that nice limey green color, and then later stage blooming, and it'll go to a second stage where this pink will get really, really intense. So Little Lime Punch, if you're looking for a compact panicle, beautiful plant. Little Lime is right here next door. And again, if you enjoy that sort of limey, creamy green color, this is a great one too. Again, you can tell, nice compact habit, loads of flowers, a little bit smaller than Little Lime Punch, but still really profuse and beautiful in the garden. And then Angela's favorite is here. This is Bobo. And Bobo, when you look at these flowers, they're just humongous. That's one flower, really, really gorgeous over a nice compact plant. Mostly green, gets a little, or not green, sorry, cream, and gets a little bit of a blush towards the end of the season, but really, really pretty if you're wanting to stay in that cream and white family in the garden. Now over here, look at the spirea. So spirea have done so well for us. The spirea actually are in the rose family, believe it or not. So they attract a lot of pollinators here with those clusters of flowers, and all those flowers are open in the center. So the pollinators come through and they really check out the spirea. In fact, I'm seeing honeybees through here right now. There's some sweat bees on this plant right now as well. But look at all of the flower color and the foliage color and how it kind of changes. It's very, very, different as far as each variety is concerned. You've got the Double Play series, which again is very compact, very nice. Lots of different color in the foliage and the flowers again. Absolutely beautiful. And then you've got some of the old fashioned varieties like Little Princess, just a nice compact bluish green variety, pink flowers on Little Princess. But I just love all of the different foliage color and flowering color that's at play here. So at least you can come through and pick your favorite variety and favorite height, favorite width, and really have a great time with it in the landscape. Again, best for sunny landscapes. That's where you're going to develop the best color, but beautiful. Underplanted, you can underplant the panicle hydrangeas with it. You could underplant the Ninebark with them and still get, again, a lot of color, a lot of flowering. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of your color at this time of year in August, going into September and so on, you still need a lot of flowering color, and you can get that from your panicle hydrangeas, of course, but also Rose of Sharon. And I know a lot of people go, oh, Rose of Sharon, are you kidding me? But the newer varieties, folks, are sterile. They don't produce the seeds and the seedlings that your old-fashioned Rose of Sharon varieties have produced in the past. So that's the benefit of trying something that is a new variety. And as I'm looking at this, swath of varieties here, there are a ton of pollinators, bees in particular, moving through the blue right here in front of Taylor, and it's the double chiffon variety. And the double chiffon, just so you know, when you look at the flowers, they're not fully double. So when you look inside that flower, you can still see the pollen and the center of the flower, and the bees are going right to it. So it's really, really amazing just watching them out here. But with Rosa Sharon, you have short, tall, medium varieties. So do look at the tags before you take one home and stick it where you want it, where you want that late season color. There's Little Kim Red down here. She's beautiful, kind of a dark pink with a red eye, but the shortest of the PW series here, maybe 3 to 4 foot. You move into the Satin series. Satin is the single flower. This is Azuri Blue Satin. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant, but again, taller. So this is going to be like that 8-foot variety, 8 to 12 feet actually. Some of the chiffons are also as tall. So the blue chiffon, but I have this new one here. This one's called Fiji, and it's like a bicolor white and pink. This one's kind of a medium height. So we're looking at 6 to 7 foot. So it just kind of depends. Like I said, make sure you walk through, take a look, find your favorite color. This is Orchid Satin, but Orchid Satin's a little bit smaller than some of the other satins. So again, read those tags, make sure you find the right hibiscus for you, but great pollinator plant. We found something that we haven't grown in a while, but I know that people have been asking about it, so I wanted to give you a heads up. This is a crepe myrtle. It is a crepe myrtle shrub, and it's called Enduring Fuchsia. And what's really interesting about this crepe myrtle is it's a little bit cold hardier, but again, keep this in mind. It is rated for zone 6B, okay? So that means 5 degrees in the winter. So it can withstand up to about 5 degrees, which we can get colder than that. So I want you all to just be prepared. If you've always wanted to try a crepe myrtle, they're great to grow in Northeast Ohio, but they might die back to the ground every winter. So just be prepared. Kind of like butterfly bush a little bit, where you're just going to get some dieback. You need to expect it, and then you're going to cut everything back, and hopefully it'll grow back up from there. The benefit of having this crepe myrtle is beautiful flowering, and it's just budded up right now. It's not even showing its flowers yet, but this variety is actually a repeat bloomer. So again, that's kind of new with crepe myrtle. So again, if you're looking for something, you've always wanted to try crepe myrtle, you wanted that color kind of late season, there you go. Enduring Fuchsia is going to be the one. We're in the perennials department. Of course, we love Stella's runways, and she's always setting us up with some really good flower combinations. And it's no less in August. Everything is just really busting out. And I have to say, August is really the time for these daisies, the daisy family, the composite family, where you've got a ton of Rudbeckia or black-eyed Susans available at this time of year, looking gorgeous, and a ton of coneflower or echinacea looking gorgeous. And there's so many beautiful colors and varieties. So we want you to come and visit us, of course. And if you want to add some really great pollinator plants to your garden, the coneflowers and the Rudbeckias are not going to disappoint. They will always bring in pollinators for you. You'll always see them hovering around the composite family. This little guy right here, this is Dakota, Dakota Gold, and Dakota series of black-eyed Susans, or brown-eyed Susans, and in this respect, this is part of the Herta family, and we've done a spotlight on Rudbeckia. These have very, very fuzzy stems, fuzzy foliage, nice and compact habit, about 15 to 18 inches, beautiful sort of double petals, but you still have a nice cone in the center. These will bloom, they'll produce for you all season. Make sure you're cutting and using the stems for you. Really, really nice and compact. The Hurta series is always going to be the one that sometimes they're a tender perennial, sometimes they're a biennial, sometimes they're just an annual. So to ensure better, longer growth for these guys, try to mulch them again, that late season mulch, late November. Give them a couple more inches of mulch around the crown. And then also collect the seeds off of the dried flower heads and seed them in September around the plant where you have it planted to get more plants growing. That's always a really good way to do it. So keep that in mind. Love them combined with the Agastaki. Okay, this is Kudos Yellow. The Dakota is also combined with the Coral Bell. That's Peach Flambe. So the foliage color and the flowers, just lovely. This is the Sombrero Echinacea or coneflower. It's called Tres Amigos. And so you get kind of, when the flowers start to open, you get kind of an orangey coral color. And as they start to fill out, you get more of this sort of bright red, and then you get burgundy. So it's really a cool variety. These are a little bit taller than some of the sombreros because sombreros can stay quite compact. But Tres Amigos I found is a little bit more stretchy in the pots, a little bit taller at like that 24-inch to 30-inch mark. So just keep that in mind as well. There's so many different sombrero varieties, just depending on the color that you want and the height that you want too. And this is another sombrero. This is soft yellow, Taylor. Lemon yellow. See, there's a lot out there, guys. So Taylor has to keep me on the ball as far as the names are concerned. But again, combine this with Caradonna meadow sage. And of course, I have a honeybee right by my finger there. But that spiky upright habit of Agastaki or the meadow sage really goes nicely with kind of the form of the daisy type flower. So as they poke up through the daisies, I think it's just a beautiful combination. You can add coral bell for a little bit of foliage texture at the base, but again, really, really beautiful. And another daisy that we tend to always talk about is Coreopsis. And this is actually Pink Shades Coreopsis. And as I just moved my hand over it, I disturbed a bunch of bees right around here, but beautiful pastel shades, yellow center, pink, kind of peachy pink petals on the outside. And then here we go again. You have this Verbena bonariensis. It's an upright verbena. Again, more of a biennial here, and will self-seed as well with the verbenas. But you get those spiky flowers coming up through the daisies, and it really makes a great combination, texture-wise, color-wise. It just works, and really great for sunny, well-drained areas. We wanted to show you this cool new grass. It just came in from our farms, and it's called Glow Sticks. And I'm sure Taylor's going to give you a close-up shot, but it is a fescue. So fescues, we grow fescues in our lawns all the time. Nice, low, kind of thick grass, okay? Sort of has thick blades to it, sort of a dark green, slight bluish tone to it. And then in June, it starts to push up these bright yellow stems on the bottom of their flowers, basically their inflorescence. And so the grass itself, the clump, is no more than maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. But look at these flowering stems coming up, and they're bright yellow. So pretty appropriate name for an ornamental grass like this. With the fescues, you want to grow them in full sun, well-drained areas. Typically, they could probably take partial shade. The only thing is, I don't think you're going to get as bright of a yellow stem out of the plant. So try to keep them in those sunnier areas. And there you go. You've got that flowering inflorescence. It comes up like probably 18 to 20 inches tall over the plant. And it's really, really cool. It's really neat. Again, texture and color contrast compared to all the other perennials and flowering plants out there. And I think this, paired with some of the daisies that I just mentioned, the black-eyed Susans, the coneflowers, cool, really, really cool. For those of you that haven't gotten your butterfly weed going yet, look at plenty of butterfly weed here. Most of this is going to be hello yellow or gay butterflies. This is the compact butterfly weed. It is in the Asclepias family. This is where we found our monarch caterpillars last year that we took care of and kind of raised inside and released. But this plant, if you're looking for nice and sort of compact varieties of the Asclepias family, this is a great one to try. Or again, you could try swamp or common milkweed. They are going to be larger varieties. These are the ones that are going to produce much taller plants for you in the landscape. And of course, those pinker flowers, clusters of pink flowers. Again, your Asclepias, you can't go wrong. We've done a spotlight on them. They are a native plant of Ohio. They grow very, very well for folks. Again, full sun, you can put them in part shade. They prefer full sun. Again, with the swamp milkweed, definitely can tolerate wetter areas, okay? Wet, heavy clay soils, no problem whatsoever. With the common and the butterfly weed, try to find a little bit better drained spot for them. But again, they can grow fairly well in the landscape. I don't want to say aggressive because that sounds like it's an invasive, but you will be able to establish quite a bit of milkweed once you get the common or the swamp milkweed started, okay? So just be aware. We just have to show you all the coneflowers. And in fact, we can't. There's just not enough time for all the different varieties. We wanted to show you some new ones, folks, that are through our perennial departments. But check this one out. We talked about this kind of earlier in the season in our spring magazine, but this is Sunseeker's Tequila Sunrise. And it's gorgeous. It has sort of that cupped petal on it, almost like a spoonbill petal that'll open up. And then you've got the pinker reddish center, and then those beautiful it's sort of a peachy yellow, like an apricot yellow color right now. But as it gets more sun through the season, that central color is going to start expanding out into the petals. So really, really beautiful. This one is really cool. This is actually Prairie Blaze. It's called Vintage Lime. Look at those lime flowers for those of us that like little lime and limelight and all of those limey flowers out in the garden. But look at the pink that starts to suffuse those petals, those rays. Beautiful, beautiful plant. Both of these are really only about 18 to 24 inches in the garden, but my gosh, look at all the buds on top of there. It's amazing to me how coneflowers have come such a long way in such a short period of time. And then this one is Sombrero. Again, Sombrero, we were talking about Tres Amigos up top. This is Sangrita. And Sangrita is, if you're looking for like a hot coral, red, beautiful long stems, redder stems too, beautiful coneflower, just absolutely gorgeous, really deep colors. Beautiful. And as I'm talking about it, I see honeybees on them right now. They are foraging and doing their thing. We mentioned Rosa Sharon, and then of course in the same family, the hibiscus family, perennial hibiscus. In August, you always see lovely perennial hibiscus out. They're, of course, the ones with the large dinner plate size flowers. They come up really late in the spring season, so everybody's worried when they're not coming up just yet. But boy, they come up, and August is just the most beautiful time for them. Lots of different varieties, folks. You'll usually see them with red, pink, white, bicolor, kind of swirled or tie-dyed flowers, okay? That's normally the colors that you see them in. Some can be short, like Luna Red, which I have right off here to my left. And Luna Red is beautiful, nice and compact, maybe 3 foot tall in the garden, bright red flowers. And then you get into some of the other varieties that have some darker foliage or some striping. We have Summer Cherry Cheesecake here. Again, beautiful white, I would call it, typically with the red eye, but it kind of, that color bleeds into the white petals. So it's really, really beautiful. Green foliage here with that one. Plum Crazy is kind of that darker, deeper pink, has a little bit of a purple, violet purple in the petal. beautiful, distinctive red eye, a little bit darker foliage on Plum Crazy. And then I was gonna show you Copper King too. And I always have liked Copper King. This is an older variety, big white flowers, red eye again, kind of suffusing into that white petal. But look at that leaf. It's almost like a maple leaf, a little bit darker, coppery foliage, so hence the name, but really beautiful. These guys are gonna be a little bit taller. You're looking at 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot. Typically can get very large and established in our gardens, you know, where you're getting 4, 5, 6 foot wide, very large, kind of shrubby perennials, if you will. They die back all together over the winter, and then you go ahead and you cut them down, leave some stems so you can see where they're planted, and then late spring, that's when they start to push up through the ground and just develop all new again. So fabulous plant, great for the pollinators, easy to grow in sunny spots, can tolerate clay soil, can tolerate wet soil as well. So we're in the annual house, and yes, there's still tons of color with annuals. So if you want to pop a little bit more color in the garden, in your containers, absolutely, there's always that opportunity to do so, because there are plenty of annual flowers that produce so well late summer. The pentas, the lantana, the zinnias, and the sunflower. So I wanted to mention to you that this year, the first Saturday in August is National Sunflower Day. And here we go. We have Sunfinity sunflowers available. And Sunfinities are a repeat blooming sunflower. I know I've mentioned them before to y'all, but again, gorgeous, small flowering type, all budded up, ready to go. Keep cutting, keep deadheading, and they will continue to bloom late all the way through the season. It's not just one flower and done. They'll keep on performing for you. You can keep them in the container. You can put them in the ground if you like, whatever you prefer, but really a great plant. And it's just nice that there's going to be a National Sunflower Day that first Saturday in August. I did want to mention one other thing. We did see fall mums. They are here at the stores, just the beginning shot of them, little 6-inch. They're nice and tight and really, really green. But that's a reminder to you all that you can plant mums, fall mums in August, and it's actually a really good thing to do, because the sooner you plant them, the better they get established, the better they winter over for next year and the years to come. So keep that in mind as well in the back of your head that fall is lingering. I can't believe I just said it, but enjoy your August.